Hi, I'm Karen Collins, and today I have a special treat. Doug Paddon-Jones, who is Associate Professor at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, and a researcher doing some really groundbreaking things in the area of how diet might affect muscle protein creation and breakdown. So as you think about healthy eating and thinking about protein, here's some really interesting things that you'll want to hear about. Thanks for being with us. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks.
The surprising thing is, after all the time we spend totaling up how much protein we eat, it might not be the total that matters, huh?
It can be misleading. The whole concept of the IDA is immensely beneficial if we're talking about populations and averages. But when it comes to giving meal-specific guidance, it tends to fall a little bit short. We don't tend to plan meals over a 24-hour period. We make them specific. And one of the problems we've really seen with just looking at a total lump of protein that you might have available through the day is that our bodies can really only use a certain amount of protein at one time.
So I think one of the interesting slides that I've seen you share in a couple different presentations is the same total in the typical pattern. You want to describe that, how breakfast, lunch, and dinner can add up? It's the same, but it has totally different effects?
Yeah, it's really kind of common sense. A lot of people will think, well, that just makes so much sense when you think about it. It really started with a series of studies where we were able to look for the first time at an actual high-quality protein-rich food and its ability to stimulate muscle growth and repair. And we found by giving essentially 30 grams of protein, in our case it was lean beef, but it really doesn't matter what type of high-quality protein you use. And we found it gave a nice 50% bump in muscle protein synthesis, which is quite robust. But then we wanted to do the dose response. If 30 grams of protein gives you 50%, what if we triple the amount? And we wanted to make this a little bit more realistic of the exaggerated portions that we're eating at the restaurants. No one gets a 4-ounce serving of fish or chicken or meat at a restaurant. So we gave folks 12 ounces of lean meat, and that's 90 grams of protein. And we found, despite giving people this big bolus meal of protein, their ability to build and repair muscle stayed the same. So to me, this suggests that somewhere around 30 grams of protein per meal represents this ceiling effect in our ability to take it and use it for muscle building. So when you look at dietary patterns, if you think about your own dietary intake over the course of the day, in America we tend to be very carbohydrate biased towards breakfast. Breakfast tends to be breakfast cereals, bread products, and the like, with quite often minimal protein.
If you had cereal with a bowl of milk, you might be getting a total of 10 grams of protein between the cereal.
Something like that, yeah. 10 grams is pretty common, and we see that in a lot of the epidemiological data. Now, 10 grams of protein for a young, healthy adult individual, it's okay. But as we get older, our ability to take a small amount of protein and effectively use it just diminishes. So 10 grams of protein for an aging adult doesn't do a lot. Now, if we look at the flip side, the evening meal quite often turns out to be this protein extravaganza, where we're eating these large restaurant portion servings. Now, if that meal contained, let's say, 65 grams of protein, which isn't a massive steak, it's pretty typical, but your body is only effectively able to use around 30 grams, you're not wasting it, but you're essentially not getting the most benefit from the rest of that protein, the rest of that energy that you're consuming. So instead of this skewed protein intake over the course of the day, we're really just recommending a more sensible redistribution. Absolutely not advocating just blindly throwing protein at people's diets. That's short-sighted. Just take perhaps some of the protein that you would normally overconsume in the evening meal, and see if you can find ingenious, convenient ways of adding it to breakfast.
Just kind of redistributing everything through the day.
So over the course of the day, you're getting multiple periods where you're optimally stimulating muscle growth and repair, but also benefiting things like satiety and your ability to regulate blood glucose.